Hey guys, today we're gonna talk about a skill that I never thought I would talk about on this channel, and that's the Mizutsune set bonus, Bubbly Dance. And some of you probably think that I'm trolling right now, but I'm extremely serious and I'm gonna tell you why. So in base game, this skill was really a meme skill and not really used at all for different reasons that I'm gonna go over later. But first of all, let me explain what this skill does. Bubbly Dance is a skill that goes up to level 3, and level 1 and 2 are completely useless for us, so we want it to be level 3. At level 3, it makes it so that you are completely immune to the effects of Bubble Blight, but also, after a few dash and rolls, it inflicts you with the Bubble Blight. To get Bubble Blight, you need to either roll 3 times or dash 4 times, so it's pretty easy to get. Once you have it, it lasts for 30 seconds. And having Bubble Blight gives you a few benefits. The first one is that it gives you Evade Window 2. Which is a nice bonus, but that's not why we use this skill, so that's the last time I'm gonna mention it. And the second thing is that it gives you Constitution 2, which we're gonna make use of later. So at this point you may be wondering, okay, it gives you Evade Window and a little bit of Constitution, what's the big deal about it? Well, I'm gonna get to it. Bubble Blight, as its name suggests, is actually a blight. So even though you are immune to this effect, you're still under the effect of a blight, technically. So what this means is that while you're under the effect of Bubble Blight, you're gonna proc skills like Resuscitate, which at level 3 gives you plus 20 attack. It's a very significant amount. And the second benefit is that every 30 seconds, when you lose Bubble Blight, you're gonna proc Coalescence, which is a new skill added to Sunbreak. 1 point of Coalescence gives you plus 12 attack, plus 2 elements, and plus 5% status for 30 seconds. So between Bubble Blight and Bloodlust, you're gonna get Coalescence uptime close to 100%. So Bubble Blight on its own is not really good, but when you synergize it with Resuscitate 3 and Coalescence, it makes it a very decent option. And that's the reason why Bubble Blight was not used in base game, because you need to max out Bubble Blight, you need to max out Resuscitate, and Coalescence did not exist in base game. And with how little slot we had in base game, you could not possibly fit all those skills without completely ruining the rest of your build. Now I'm gonna show you 2 builds, one that is quote-unquote suicide builds because it will use a health drain, and the second one that is non-suicide with no health drain, so you can choose whichever you prefer. The charm that I'm gonna be using is Bubble Dance 3 and a level 3 slot. It's a very accessible charm, and if you have a better charm you can fit in more skills as usual. So this is the suicide build, and we're gonna break this down. First of all, you can see that it has all the core skills that Bow can use. It has Stamina Surge 3, it has Bow Charge Plus, it has Spread Up 3, and by the way, if you play Rapid or Pierce, just replace the Spread decos with normal or Pierce decorations. And it also has Critical Boost 3 and Weakness Exploit 3. Now we also have Resuscitate 3, which is a very important skill for a Bubble Dance build. Also, be mindful that on this set, we're mixing the Dereliction set and the Mail of Hellfire set bonus. When you mix those 2 sets, you want to play on the red scroll. So just be mindful of which scroll you're using. The red scroll is the better one for this build. Now, as a quick side note, you can notice that this build does not have any Constitution. That's normal, it's because Bubble Dance gives you Constitution 2, so if you eat for Fighter level 4, you get full stamina reduction. However, if you do not want to eat for Fighter level 4 because it has a low activation rate, what you can do is swap the Astalos arms for the Rachna arms. All you do is trade the Chain Crit for 2 points of Constitution. So if you do that, all you have to do is eat for Fighter level 2, which has a much higher chance of activation, so that's really up to you. This version on the screen has more damage, but you do have to eat for Fighter level 4, so it's up to you. Now for the weapons, the one I have on the screen is just a placeholder. If you use the exact same charm, you'll need at least a level 2 slot on the weapon, which is why I use this bow. However, if your charm is better, you can get away with a weapon that has less slots. Now if you do have more slots on your build, the first focus will be to max out Resentment, and then you can add some elemental attack. So I'm just gonna briefly cover the non-suicide builds because it's exactly the same. All you do is replace the Archfiend legs for the Magmadron Greaves. So you lose the health drain, but the rest of the skills is exactly the same. So you play this build exactly the same, you just don't have the health drain. And once again, if you don't want to eat for fighter level 4, you can replace the Astalos arms with the Rachna arms, which gives you constitution 2, and you just have to eat for fighter level 2. But otherwise the build is exactly the same. So now the question is, how does it hold up against the meta builds? So very surprisingly, it does very well. If you use the exact same build that I showed you in the video earlier, you're gonna do the same or slightly higher damage than the endgame meta bow builds. But what makes it good is that on top of doing the same or better damage, you're gonna get a near 100% uptime on coalescence. The first one is that it's not very flexible. You pretty much need a charm with level 3 bubble dance on it. If you don't have this charm, you're gonna have a very hard time slotting in bubble dance and all the skills that you need to make it work. Another drawback is that yes, the uptime on Bubble Blight is very good, it lasts for 30 seconds, but that means that when it's gone, for 4 dashes until you reactivate it, you're going to consume more stamina. So you have to be aware that every 30 seconds for a few seconds you'll be consuming more stamina. It's not a huge deal, but it's something to be aware of. Also, one more thing to consider is that when I compare the damage on the meta set and the Bubbly Dance set, I compare them with equivalent charms. So if your non-Bubbly Dance charm is a god charm, you will need an equally as good Bubbly Dance charm to make it better. If your Bubbly Dance charm is a lot worse than your regular charm, then it's not gonna be worth it. So if you ask me if I recommend this build, yes, absolutely. If you have the right charm to make this work, this is a very fun and a very strong build. The thing that was holding this skill back in the past is that you need a ton of other skills to make it worth it. And keep in mind that yes, this build does work very well right now. In the future, with the new curio augments and potentially new decoration, this skill has the potential to be becoming even better. So time will tell, but for now, Bubbly Dance is very strong. Okay, but that's pretty much it for the video. I'm curious to see what you guys think, so if you tried it and you like this build, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't tried it and you think it's a stupid idea, also let me know in the comments. But I'll see you next time. See you guys.